A very good evening to each and every one of you. Welcome in the ring, wherever you're joining us from. We're happy that you guys are here with us. Another evening, folks. It's the 15th day of April. Believe it or not, it's already gone. Swoosh! It has already gone, folks. Sadly, sadly. Half the month. I say the whole month has already gone. Good to have you folks. Wherever you all are joining us from, welcome in the ring. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji. Smash that emoji button for us. Happy to have all of you on the live. Wherever you all are joining us from tonight, you all know already space and power, boots on the ground. Great to have all of you here. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji button, folks, so we can keep on keeping on. That's what we aim to do. Keep on keeping on. How y'all doing, man? How was the day? How was the day? How was the evening thus far? Do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. I got Lavi Go here. Simone Graves is here. Simone Greaves and Tessa is here. Morna Monroe is here as well. McGarrell Seville is here. Seville McGarrell. Ingrid King is here. Dora David. Good to have you. Morna Stoby on the live as well. All the Mornas are out tonight. Emerson, good to see you there. Emerson Holder. Rajina. Na zim. Munish from the Rhine, good to have you on the live tonight. Deborah Sharona Lynch as well. You all know the politics of walk out Christopher George. You all boy gotta fall back. Na. Derricka Ferguson, good night to you and all the other folks who are joining us. Wherever you're joining us from, we're nothing short of privileged that you guys are on the live. Ingrid King, good to have you here. And all the other folks joining us tonight. Tis the season, good folks. Tis the season. Yeah, welcome. We're going to fight catch set. It's set. So many things happening. What a turn of events this afternoone at the Rambell Police Station. We can come to that. Hold on, man. We can come to that. Some of y'all like put the cat before the horse. So we can come to that. We got to fight catch set. Folks, stranger than fiction, 'tis the season. Stranger than let not your heart be troubled. You're gonna see a set of weird stuff. 'Tis the season. Don't worry about it. Let's just keep on keeping on. Putting one foot down in front of the next. Let us recommit to doing that. Putting one foot down in front of the next. Pace and power, folks. It's the season. We're on the cusp of the 2025 general and regional elections. I know the Trinidadians going to it before us. They are heading to the polls before us. I think it's the 28th of this month. And we are right behind them. And then Canada as well goes to the polls on the polls on the 28th of this month as well. So we're watching it, folks. We're watching these diverse things. These myriad events. We're watching them, folks, and wondering, who's going to be the last man standing in this Game of Thrones for Shiv Narayan Chandra Paul Drive? Who's gonna be the last man standing there? Your boy Irfan talking a set of stuff. Sometimes I wonder, does he really believe it? Sometimes I wonder, Dorrit, Gladys, Skyline. Sometimes I wonder, Certified Boss, do they really believe it? We can know. We are going to know soon enough. All things will be tested, and sure enough, we shall know. Let's head into it, folks. The opener tonight. Welcome to our broadcast, wherever you are, you're joining us from. Wherever you all are joining us from. Good to have you, folks, here with us. Love it. Having all of you here. Different strokes for different folks is what Marvin Williams spoke about over the weekend. The way the police went about the protest in Linden, went about the apprehension, the shooting, of Ronaldo Peters, Theon Fajane. And then when you look at some other places, you don't see that same kind of violence. You just don't. You just don't. Is that something we ought to be studying? Is there a sociology? Marvin Williams over the weekend, folks. Take a look, take a listen.
Mayor of Linden, Sharma Solomon, is just one of many to describe the police force as being politicized. Speaking on the program Nation Watch on Sunday, he said that the ruling party is happy with the role of the police as a tool to put down repression. The police are also to protect the interests of the state.
Those elements such as politicizing of the police force, such as the deprofessionalization of the police force, becomes very, very evident and relevant as you see them execute on behalf of the state with regards to whether you see protesters are protesting, then if they believe those protesters threaten infrastructure, then it's a shoot-to-kill policy.
He said that in 2012, when the people of Linden staged the protest against the hike in electricity rates, the officer on the ground, Clifton Hicken, was taking instructions from the Home Affairs Minister rather than from the Police Commissioner Leroy Brummel.
And we saw even recently, with reference to the structure itself of the Guyana Police Force and the sort of confidence the public have within the ability to trust the hierarchy of the police force, not because of our own distrust, but because of the many cases we see appearing before the courts on behalf of many of the senior officers and many of the allegations being made.
Marvin Williams said that the police operated differently during different administrations.
The sitting president of this country was captured on live video, leading thugs. He will now describe anyone behaving in that manner as thugs and domestic terrorists. Those would be his words to describe people doing the things he was doing at the Marriott, wherever it was, when he and a group of people attempted to overturn a motor vehicle with his sitting minister in it.
Williams recalled that no one was arrested or prosecuted. He said that the police officers simply stood there.
In Bath Settlement, there's video footage of a man pulling out a gun
and having police on the run.
A civilian. And you had police officers running for their lives.
Who was attacked.
No one was arrested. No rubber bullet was fired. No tear gas was used. No one was arrested. No one was prosecuted.
In Linden recently, the situation was different. Live bullets were used and there was a fatality.
That's a situation we got to examine. It's a phenomenon we got to study sociologically. We got to study that. Things obtain one way in region 10, for instance, it obtains differently someplace else. What you all say to a thing like that? What you all say to a thing like that? You know, and to witness it with your own eyes. My Lord, this is not one Guyana at all. I know they would wish Jackie Cameron it were, but it just ain't. It just ain't one Guyana. It's just not one Guyana. And you know what? In true PPP fashion, it's just a little cabal of them, you know. Jamal Aziz are coming by your side. It's just a little cabal of them earning all this sweet. You remember the AG says, look how these couple of people dressing nice and driving better cars and eating better food and wearing better clothes. It's a small cabal. It's not the ordinary man in this country. Arlie, you know I talking the truth. Mandy, Deborah, Kurt, Carlin. All you know I talking the truth. This small man, the real man. Oh, we're far removed from those privileges. Far, far, far removed. Listen, there is a seething thing in this country. There's something that is seething in this, right below the surface. And I don't think it's about race so much. Heaven faith, Linda Ford. Linda, I don't think it's so much about race than it is about who got and who ungot. In 4 years, we've seen ministers build some sprawling mansions, some very palatial, very, very palatial dwellings. And then you're telling public servants, you gotta wait until 2030 before you can get your piece of the largesse of this country. Or no matter what. Matter what. Look, our brother and member of parliament, Vince Roy Jordan, always on the ground working. Always on the ground. And he spoke with some farmers quite recently who said the Jagdeo Ali administration, the Ali Jagdeo administration, however you want to put it, whatever it is, are not even paying them any mind. Jamala did say coming by your side. MP Vince Roy Jordan, they were complaining to him. The folks had to left Region 6, wherever it was, gone to see Zulfikar Mustafa, and then to be ignored. They're such a discourteous government, aren't they? Very, very discourteous. Same people. Sly Mongoose, dog know the name. Your own people complaining. Listen to what one farmer told Member of Parliament Vince Roy Jordan. He's the shadow Minister for Agriculture and shadows this portfolio very, very ably. Take a look, take a listen.
Rich farmers, right? Now, we go to Agriculture Minister, but telling the office, all of the cattle farmer, no be politicians, sit down. No, he said, look, take the number down, and he give a number. Now, when you call them, they don't answer them phone. So, what am I doing in there, man?
So he didn't deal with you
He didn't deal with Abby till now. Till now, he didn't deal with Abby. Till now, when you call the phone, nobody answer the phone. They give the number, what they give the number for?
You call it for machine and
That's wasting time. Then answer the phone.
So you reached still to the office of the agriculture minister.
Till in the office we been. He sit down inside there. He tell he clerk them or whoever, take the number down.
And that was it.
And he done there. There's no way. If you let them come and see what going on in Rampu Bagam. This cattle farmer are facing. There's nobody doing anything. If you go to MMA not do nothing. So I think they go just make one truck, then they get high mark, then they get bulldozer, then they get nothing. But then they get to give to next farmers. Right? We go to MMA. Where was it? We go down in town, you not reach nobody. Look the condition. Look the condition.
They go like a monkey. They go like a monkey.
Yes.
Yeah, you heard the farmers there. They sound identical to Big Uncle who we had on with us. They sound very, very similar to Mr. Rahim. You all remember that? Well, he told Minister Zulfikar a couple of things or two. And we got to catch up with him to see what has his progress been. You see, it's one thing when they got to set peace, you know. But when you talk to the real man, the man downstairs, it's a different thing. You will see James sharing that. James would miss like this. He won't find that to share it. And we're going to put that out there. Now, that's a half-hour conversation. We're going to show you guys more of it perhaps on a subsequent broadcast. Vince Roy Jordan on the ground with the farmers, listening to their concern and helping to point the way. This peeping a lot of surprises this election, you know. A lot of surprises. And that is why I said to you, I pointed out to us here the other evening, they have to now resort to manufacturing excitement for Irfan. When he goes to these venues, people holding up all kind of cue cards, applaud now, stand up, sit down, you know, smile broadly, all kind of cues you got to give people. Yeah, these people all kind of hand signals, come on now, surround him, you know, you see all manner of things, directors and directorates, because they become so unpopular. So unpopular. That is the voice of the people. Anybody hand our farmers no scoop and say read here, bad talk them. These people are talking from their lived experience, Neville, Everett, Dolly, Sandy. They are speaking here from their lived experience. And they've been neglected. They have been neglected in their own words. In their own words. And so, folks, just a couple of the things we're following this evening. I want to get you through some of them. Let's start from the outside, and then we find our way back home. Haiti descending into chaos even more now. I won't forget when Irfan and company sat down there in the airport with me having a press conference. They said mission accomplished. They had just gotten an interim government in Haiti. And they said mission accomplished. Irfan was chairman of CARICOM at that point. You see, CARICOM is working. Well, the whole baby party almost broke up. When last you heard that? The whole baby party almost broke up. God of mercy. We're in a rough spot. Regionally, we're in a rough spot. We used to have Caribbean leaders who would think through these issues. Yeah. Even before they get to the stage. Yeah. I didn't grow up seeing a Haiti like that. You know, Haiti was coming to come. And then CARICOM take the eyes off the ball. The folks attack and kill Jovenel Moise. And it has been all downhill from there, from that point. But I have no doubt that Haiti's better days are in front of them. I have no doubt whatsoever about that. A couple of things we're following and skip you guys through it very quickly. I saw the GPHC, Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. You know, they got their own story. they got their own story happening, good folks. We're going somewhere with this institution. We were turning the corner. But Frank Cummings said, he know more medicine than anybody else. That's what I'm telling you what he said. He know more medicine than anybody else. Dr. Cummings can't tell he nothing. He invent medicine. He invented thing. And now I see on several fronts, the guys are getting all kinds of setbacks. You know, as big people, we got to stick together. Take good care of our health and so on. And so they said they're now addressing some concerns. I was raising a letter to the editor, in particular, a letter to Starbuck News, in which a colonoscopy was performed without any anesthesia. My God, is this are we back in the dark ages? That's what they say. They now they said they've reaffirmed their commitment to patient safety and care quality and acknowledging the patient's discomfort, and clarify that while sedation is standard in many healthcare settings, it is selectively administered due to the high service demand and the need for equitable access. So they didn't have no sedative. That's what it's been here. The fastest growing economy in the world, high income country, biggest GDP. And what they're really saying here is that they run out of the thing. You see? So you gotta get surgery now with your eye open. No sedation. No sedation. The sedation is prioritized for patients with Higher anxiety. You got a little colonoscopy. That's not for you. Higher anxiety and lower pain threshold. Now, how you know something like colonoscopy? Your colon. It is very invasive. You can take it just like that. They give this sedation, this prioritized for patients with high anxiety, low pain threshold, and based on your specific medical needs. They're emphasizing that it is used for separate and they have dedicated scopes of different for different procedures. They say they're highlighted their ongoing efforts to expand sedation access. I like all of these euphemisms. Go wrong, come around, go upstairs and come downstairs. And go, well, get sedation. Please and thank you. Colonoscopy, the GPHC way. Ouch. Ouch. You would think 5 years in, we would be farther along. You would think so. Now telemedicine is you hold up a WhatsApp and I hold up a WhatsApp. Open, and we hope that the signal maintains. Because God forbid, the doctor doing a WhatsApp colonoscopy, some medic, some far-flung area in this country. Then you get black out, you left halfway without your amnesia, without your anesthesia, rather, without your painkiller, without your sedative. I know some of you all who live in the first world countries, you must laugh at us. So look at them there. It's a good thing I left 50. It's a good thing I left 5 years ago. My God, the place has not improved. It's these boys here. We the coming kitty cutter, kitty cutter. Kitty cutter. Now you got all these setbacks. You all know Joshua Hospital was going someplace. Maternal deaths, neonatal deaths, and so on, all gone down, bringing up the standard piece by piece. Sometimes I wonder now if I'll ever see the promised land. It's a dream I got for my kids, their kids. Will we ever see the promised land? We'll come around the turn for the promised land. Fraud is fraud. We were coming around the turn. A couple other things, folks, that are happening. As soon as you blink in this country, you miss 6 months. As soon as you blink. Well, if we were spending billions before, right, another item could come. They call them the FPSO, floating production storage, something, man, outsourcing, I don't know. Whatever. The big ship come. The big ship come. Folks, this means more oil pumping. You need an extra FPSO if we pump it. You don't need an extra FPSO if you don't intend to have the capacity to put the oil in the FPSO and get it out of here. No. When we had just discovered oil, perhaps I might have been doing a backflip or two. The old bag didn't totally gone then. Perhaps. But you see now, this ain't nothing to write home about. It ain't nothing to write home about. Because with all this money that we will be producing, all this money that we will be getting from our oil, how much of it is filtering down to the ordinary man? How much of it? I don't know. I see these guys trying to finish the whole manifesto, and yet I see still so many promises. So many promises. Vote back for we. And we can fix the concussion road. We can put a layer of asphalt now. Vote back for we. You get an AI data center in Region 6. Vote back for we. You know, more house and land. There should be a couple of things that governments do regardless. And I believe they are. Water and light. Water and light. You know, your social safety nets. You should gonna say, vote back for we fix NIS for you finally. You and them vote back for we. Let me finish up the lights. Blackout in retail. So yet another floating production, storage and offloading vessel has arrived in Guyana water. They call it the One Guyana FPSO. Jesus. Well, you know we got nothing in there. You know we ain't get nothing for getting there. Because their idea One Guyana different from one people, one nation, one destiny. It is qualitatively different. And we already know in this One Guyana that obtains currently, brothers and sisters, we ain't get nothing. We ain't get nothing. If you want to know if people's lives have been improved since 2020, read Sabbath News on a Monday and how the costs of living affecting people. People talk about everything, you know. People talk about the blood pressure, the colonoscopy. Right? They talk about the dialysis, the Bigfoot, the chigger, the fish that I can't afford any longer. They talk about all of that. The foreign that's now so expensive. They can't even buy it. Bread gone up. Nothing is sacred anymore. But see them boys? Them boys got it like this. The rest of us catching with tail out here. Different strokes for different folks. And that's why you heard the farmers complaining. That's why what's happening in Linden. It's happening in Linden. Different strokes for different folks. And as beyond that, you heard Chairman Solomon talk about, and our brother Marvin Williams, about how police respond differently. It's a point that we heard former Assistant Commissioner of Police, retired Assistant Commissioner of Police, Paul Slow, raised as well. That the police should exercise restraint. You know, we ought to pay our policemen properly. Sometimes I wonder if it's vexation coming out, frustration. It ought not to. But we got to pay these folks well. The ministers, hypocrites, bills out the last administration. Oh, y'all raise y'all salary this, the when we get in. First thing they said, we're not accepting it. We're going to pool all together and give to charity. Which charity? Never did it. Never did it. Soon as we get to government, we're going to roll it back and here we still waiting. When a public servant, the average public servant, gets an 8% on their, let's say 140, 150, 160. We're dreaming dreams now. 160. 8% on 160 is different from 8% on a 1.6. And that is why this government is so hypocritical. Hypocritical. Folks, if the people lose, when they lose office in a couple of weeks, them boys are going to work tomorrow, you know. All you got for wait is to run again the next fight. And run the next 5 after that. They don't have to work. It's so much money they've siphoned off. There's so much money. So again, here is Assistant Commissioner of Police, Paul Slow, raising this issue again. Different strokes for different folks. And we see it play out every day in our country. Guyana Daily Lies is a prime example. If we had reduced credible source to what they have become, vilifying people, slandering, maligning people's character. Oh, we'd had so many letters in the papers from groups in this country you don't even know exists. But you see, different strokes for different folks. And that is the very point that Paul Slow was making. And in saying in short that the police ought to exercise restraint, again, referring to the incident in Linden. Take a look.
Retired Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slow has said that one thing that the police on the ground should do is to assess the situation. They must also exercise maximum restraint, he said. He recalled the situation in the wake of the Lusignan massacre.
In 2008, when they had the Lusignan massacre, Leroy Brummel was the commander at Cove and John. I sat in the chair of Deputy Commissioner Operations, and Henry Green was the commissioner. I remember Brummel called me early morning, Saturday morning, and told me of these killings in Lusignan. And shortly after, the emergency meeting was summoned at GDF headquarters. I went there. Gary Best was the chief of staff, commissioner, and some other senior officers who went there. Right? By that time in the morning, the residents came out in their hundreds, Lusignan people came out in their hundreds. They were blocking the road, they were burning tires, and they were very irate.
He said that the anger was justified. He said that the then Commissioner Henry Green took the position that the riot police should be sent to clear the people off the road.
I said, not at all. I said, not at all. These people are out there venting because of the killing of all the people in the area. And you tell me you're going to go out there now to use stay smoke and maybe bullets and so on to I tell you no.
He said that his recommendation was to engage the people to get them off the road.
Just then that we get the politicians, because the people who are out were perceived to be PPP supporters. So we said, get the politicians to go into the area and urge them to come off the road, because one of the things I said, let them know that while they're there blocking the road, they're preventing us from going to hunt for these criminals.
He said that maximum restraint was exercised. The same wasn't the case in Linden.
What I saw there, they went out there, people lit fire on the road. What you got to do, you got to monitor. If it's a thoroughfare, there's diversion, you have to divert traffic. The people there, they're cussing and thing. And even when they got to the stage, I saw them, what happened? Police turn up. And I'm going to address that, right? You got to allow the resident to vent their frustration as long as they do not damage property or injure people.
Maybe policing has evolved since Paul Slow's tenure and Clinton Conway's tenure. Maybe it has evolved. The protesters were at bay. We were on the ground. You all know we were on the ground. Police just started shooting. Yes, they were upset. Yes, they were venting. Yes, there was debris burning in the street. I didn't know who burned it, who lit it. When we got it, it was already a light. Police just started shooting. You all know, since then, Travis' voice is like my conscience. Since then, Travis' voice has become like my conscience. Sometimes I want to tell off some people or do something contrary. And here Travis says, hold back, Duncan, hold back, hold back. Pull back, Sharon, pull back. He's become my conscience. Pull back. Yeah. I'm going to run through some stuff now. Look what's happening here. Garlican was charged today. The young lady, Marissa Skeet, laid to rest today. Charged with murder. I hope the PPP take this as a warning. One day, here's the spider, next day is the fly. Charged with murder. I hope he has his day in court. All right? And I hope they don't spare him. No doubt. No doubt his friends from the private sector and so on, Jerry and them, must be making intercessions on his behalf. No doubt. Different strokes for different folks. Charged today with murder. Charged today with murder. You all take that. And by the time we leave that, a beautiful action, my Trump voice. It's beautiful. A beautiful piece of litigation is being brought by Chartered Accountant and Attorney at Law Christopher Ram Individuals should be able to contest for a seat in the National Assembly as independents. It doesn't obtain currently. And so Ram has brought this litigation before the court. And folks, listen to me. We got a lot of constitutional scholars. You know, when I was reading law, that is the area I really wanted to go off into. Right? Constitutional law. Because people read the Constitution, they believe, yeah, he's a constitutional scholar. Until the courts and test it. You see, we don't have a fuller understanding. And when this now go before the court by Christopher Ram and Cameron and Shepard's law firm, then you know where we're really standing as a people. And so it augurs well for our jurisprudence, the development of our body of law. Oh my God, somewhere in UG, I got a lecture set ahead. First time, he said something make a little sense. Folks, it augurs well for us. You know, you don't like the PPP? 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 Sorry, I can go as independent. Try my fortunes as independent. Full stop. People should be allowed that. Other countries in that regard has gone ahead of us. Another thing we might want to consider is post-election coalitions, Annette. Now we got to go to the legislature to change that as well. Wilma Grant, Joy Dotson, post-election, after the election. I ain't talking about journalists. Because even that, we still rationalizing the journalist arrangement. But post-election coalition, you see if we got post-election coalition in this country, everybody straight up. And I think we're in that era where nobody gets any blowout kind of election, any landslide election. I think we're in that era. But we got to qualify it now. Right? You gotta qualify it now. With post-election coalition, we gotta do the legislative work. Them boys will want that. Can't eat a dinner every time. Cat would eat a dinner. So, as he said in a Trump voice, a beautiful piece of legislation being brought. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes. So beautiful. You know? What's happening to our young people? 17 years old. Mother milk still in the face. You can take on Rob in a Chinese supermarket. I know all of us, you know, a little upset how the Chinese taking over and so on. How my Chinese brothers and sisters, because by now you all should know it's in my family. My hot great grand and the man from Hong Kong. And thing and so on and so on. 17 years old, that's the point I want to make. You don't have enough of a worldview. He was just 16. My son was turning 17 this year. You know, and he know not about life yet. While we yet knew, the poet says, we still knew nothing. We got to fight for our young people. We're losing them too fast. They get in prison, they become more harder than yam. You know, so many of them, they believe. I know. I could see in my mind's eye the two that ran in the supermarket the other evening. The guard lit them up. What a sad tale. You know, what a sad tale. We got to do more for our young people. So we got to happen. And then I see Vikram crying out. The highest goal, production, I think in the history of this country, happened under the last government. That would never leave the lips of Irfan Ali. The highest rice production, too, for that matter, in the history of this country. And now they're threatening unlicensed gold buyers will face prosecution. Well, I would rather see Vikram locking up a whole set of his friends them. Different strokes for different folks. This just for the media. You know, so you play out that the government is so strong. against corruption. This is just to take a box. There's so much undeclared gold going out in this country on a daily basis. It would dwarf the allegations against Mohamed about gold smuggling. It would dwarf that. So much gold. I know what is striking. Brothers and sisters, those interior locations, where the gold coming from? You know, as Gypsy said, the thief and the soul of a nation, they don't get the reciprocal benefits. You know, I talk about reciprocal tariffs, the reciprocal development. They don't get it. Go and see where bauxite produce it, where gold produce it, how people live. Go and see their lived experience. You see? They can't go no cafe, Mosaic, and buy no coffee for $3,000, $4,000 a cup. So we have to level the playing field in this country. Inclusivity. And not one guy in nonsense. One people, one nation, one destiny. I was quite surprised when I saw some of the figures. You know, this is the promising season. They said for house lots giving out in Region 6. You know, they've been sleeping at the wheels. They got some fancy footwork. But I've learned a long time ago that movement is not the same thing as progress. I thought in Region 6 they'd be somewhere around the 15,000 mark. Because if they've been sleeping in Region 6, look these lines we've been seeing in Region 3. And they want to tell us that they're closing in on 50,000 house lots. Where y'all give them out? Where y'all give them out? But folks, what is really happening in this country is an injustice to our people. That's what I want you to know. It's nothing short of an injustice to our people. I know several persons. I can't know everybody. They done got a title. They done pay. They got agreement to sale. And they never see the land. They're waiting for a phone call from the ministry to say, look, the land in this back street by the side alley. They can take it to a field in Region 6. They can take it to a field in Region 3. In Region 4, Diamond, they could take you at the back and say, somewhere over there. Like you're sowing, you know. They have broad sweep. Somewhere over there. You take a pick. Somewhere out there. Somewhere out there. They can't put you a spot. We think that when you say allocation, you could see it. You could go and say, oh, this is the lot here. You can see the infrastructure. You got your drains, you got your culverts, you got the roads, you got the lampposts for the lights and so on. The infrastructure going in. No. Not so. In the vast majority of cases, it's jungle. You got to take chain somewhere. You can't go to the long boots. You got to go to the overalls with the long boots in the jumpsuit. It's mud till to your neck. You and the money a chainsaw cutting through your jungle to see your land. It's wickedness because you got to take a box. You got to take a box and say, yeah, 50,000. 50,000 jungle lots. With reptiles and snakes and comolis and alligators. Whatever part of the animal family, the animal kingdom they belong to. And that's why when we saw Polari Joe shaking like a leaf on the international stage, couldn't even memorize 2 lines of a presentation, you know. Couldn't even do that. He had done all the time say, talking a set of nonsense, but goal, and we know it's not. There's no one Guyana in this country. It's just not. It's just not. But Vincent wasn't having it. Chairman of the International Decade of People of African Descent, Guyana, he was not having it. You know, we too old for carrying things around. Too big now. Let him have it right away. You know, fact check him in real time. Instant feedback. You want to talk a bundle of nonsense? Just say instant feedback. Pa, 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 pa. One time. Don't talk nonsense. Take a look at some of what happened. Recently, this is an update the UN is getting, this forum. The decade is now gone into its second decade. They found it so important. But yet this regime, this installed regime, they have no care about that. We need a program separate just to address this. Take a look.
Joseph Hamilton has been accused of lying to the United Nations Permanent Forum on People of African Descent.
The development of Afro-Guyanese and Guyanese as a whole in Guyana, multi-ethnic nation, is a priority for my government. We have embarked on a transformative agenda which is rapidly changing the economic and physical infrastructure of the country. This is deliberately matched with initiatives that ensure greater inclusion and participation of all citizens in the goods, services, and opportunities available.
He said that all Guyanese, including Afro-Guyanese, are benefiting from the programs being pursued by the government.
In terms of the right of education and human resource development, the Guyana Online Academy of Learning has awarded thousands of scholarships over the last 4 years, providing free online education. This is aimed at creating a modern workforce, including by facilitating access for residents of rural and remote areas. As of this year, free education at our territory level is now offered to all Guyanese. An annual cash grant is given to every child from nursery to secondary level.
But the forum wanted to know what was being done for Afro-Guyanese as opposed to the entire country.
The African Guyanese community, descendants of the enslaved, has been systematically marginalized and remains disproportionately at the bottom of the economic and social order. Education, land rights, entrepreneurship, and political representation all reflect this exclusion.
That was Vincent Alexander on behalf of ITPADG. He said that the literature in the schools continues to ignore the contribution of the Guyanese of African descent.
Ancestral lands acquired through the historic village movement are being seized without compensation through institutional and legal manipulations. And in spite of legal provisions, a functioning Human Rights Commission has yet to be constituted 20 years on. The government of Guyana, whilst vocally supporting reparations abroad, as was done here today, has not implemented a single dedicated national policy to repair the internal legacies of enslavement.
He said that African Guyanese are blamed for their circumstances. He said that even the Ethnic Relations Commission of the Forum is represented by someone other than an African Guyanese.
The time for polite silence is over. We ask this forum to stand with us for justice, equality, and repair. Thank you.
Yeah. That's what he said. He said what he said. You know, we've seen them do quite the opposite of what Vincent Alexander went and said. Hamilton said on the international stage there. How many people have been dispossessed of land in the last 4 years? As against the opposite. Historically, people in this country have been marginalized. Yeah. And you got to treat with it differently. But not them. They're marginalized even more. Even more. What is it? Even more you get marginalized. Yep. One hazy spider in this country. Next hazy fly. I hear a mad there somewhere in what do you call it? Suriname or somewhere fixing the goatee or something. Somewhere catching itself. Somewhere. It's interesting. You know, we're a country contradiction. People who go to hospital, they say they hospital, you know. They going elsewhere. People in charge of the school system, the public school system, their kids aren't going there. You try with that. Their kids going the best private schools. You know? They ain't even got a kind of shame. They don't even got a kind of shame. You see, when digging hole for people must dig for two. Remember that big situation we saw last week, Tuesday, you know, spilled over from the previous weekend when the GRA turned up at the Mohamed's home there in Houston. And then subsequent, you had the brazenness of one news entity. They think they could come in your living room with a drone, they could come in your bedroom, and you mustn't say nothing. You must not say anything. They could come low in your yard, watching your pot. You see, because we're tenants here. Because we are tenants, the field slaves. It's not house slave. We're tenants. They want to do all sorts of things. And then as night turned to day, we understood this young man was in over his head, Nathan Prince. Today, the matter was amicably resolved. You know, the Mohammeds went to the police, filed a complaint against the drone operator. And then the drone operator went to the police and he filed a complaint too. And by Tuesday evening, this time last week, Asruddin Mohammed, businessman and philanthropist, he was called down to he was arrested, as a matter of fact. He was arrested at the Ramville police station. And by now, you all know the backstory on that. Today, folks, both sides, Mohammed and Prince, they said, we have no interest in seeing this matter go forward. As a matter of fact, Prince was the one who initiated this, and Mr. Mohammed reciprocated. Said, well, you drop it, I drop it too, and we move on. If we could only solve some problems in this country like this, you know, we could only solve it like this, James would be less hateful. If we could only solve it like this, folks. Yes, and power. Look some of what took place today. Ramville police station, as the attorney for Prince, you may or may not know him, one Dexter Judd, emerged with his client from the Ramville police station. Asruddin Mohammed was in tow, and they spoke to the media. And my brother, who has become my conscience, stay back, Shed, stay back, hold back, hold back, hold back, hold back. So what they said, folks? Somebody said.
My client went to the police, and he has given a no further action statement, and that is it.
What necessitated the action by the young man?
The thing about it is very clear. He has not been pressured. This young man has always been one who has done everything in his life to add to the development of this country, to bring people together than to, of course, move people apart. And he does not want to depart from that at all. And that's all what it is. This is about building, this is about love, this is about looking at a situation that ought not to have been escalated to this magnitude, and that's why he has decided.
Do you know if your client is still employed with his previous place of employment?
No, no. He has moved on to higher heights.
And do you know the reason why he is no longer employed there?
Well, I don't know the reason why he is no longer employed there. I believe that is mutual understanding between himself and his employee. I don't want to get into that. But he has decided that he will do other things in his life. He has, as you know, his educational background will lead him to a particular discipline that he decided that he wants to go full-fledged into that.
Is he allowed to speak to us?
Yes, to say hello. Yes.
Mr. Prince, what caused you to retract your statement?
To begin, working at Sheriff was just a job, right? None of this was ever a part of the plan, and it was really devastating to know that it turned out to this. Seeing all my friends and family crying and all that, it was unnecessary and was totally uncalled for. I've lost so much for nothing, for issues that had nothing to do with me, and right now I'm just glad that it's over with and that Mr. Mohamed and I have come to a mutual agreement, so the matter does not continue on from there.
Mr. Prince, were you accommodated at any of the apartment buildings of Sheriff Security after the drone operation, or could you say if you're still...
I wouldn't advise for him to answer.
Thank you. Will you be flying drones for Mr. Mohamed now?
No,
Thank you, Mr. Prince. Mr. Mohamed, could you say why you're the police station?
Well, good afternoon, members of the press, attorneys of Nathan. Well, first of all, Mr. Prince is a talented young man, very talented, and he has a bright future ahead. And we all know he was forced to do these things from his ex-boss and also his ex-boss's masters. He was forced to do these things. Mr. Prince's family members are outstanding citizens of this country, right? Persons close to me talk to them, and I think this is the right thing Mr. Prince did. He did it off his own. I have learned of this minutes ago, so I came down. I don't even have an attorney here with me because it's not needed. It's just the right thing to do. He came, he dropped the matter. He was forced by his ex-boss, so he just decided to drop the matter, and I forgive him.
Have you withdrawn your complaint against him as well? You had asked the police for the false allegation allegedly to be investigated.
Yes, I dropped it.
Thank you.
He's just a small fish in the pond. It's bigger than him. He was forced to do these things, and he has a future ahead, and I dropped everything.
Mr. Prince.
Yes.
Picture? Yeah. Any advice to Mr. Prince, Mr. Mohamed?
Whatever you're doing in the future, just make sure it's within your right, and always give justice, even if it's against your own family. And this young man is a very talented man, very talented, and I wish him all the best in his future.
Thank you.
Outstanding family.
Thank you.
Family.
So there you have it.
Yeah, there you have it indeed. That's going to do it for us at this end, folks. Yep. You know, a peaceful day. Some of y'all shocked. Some of y'all have not seen a matter resolved so uneventfully in a long time. You know, it's always fighting, it's always chaos, it's always confusion, it's always drama. But there you have it, folks. At least one thing for the year, and not just resolved quietly. People say we never fight no more. Right? Don't let me fight each other. Don't let others cause us to fight each other. That's the other part. We'll leave it there, folks. That's our time this evening, and that's our program. We know you guys got other places to go to, people to see, things to do. We're gonna leave it here for this evening. That being said, have a fantastic rest of the evening. Thanks for joining us. Esteline and Horace and Gail and Grace and I see Wanda's here and I see Candy Naline, Inderjeet. Candy, how you doing? You've been missed, Candy. You've been missed. Sheila Boyd-Child is here as well. Auntie Sandra is here and Lester, Gail, Yasmin is here. Yasmin Khan. Very good evening to you. Tony Hack is here. Ramliand is here as well. And the thousands of others who have joined us, folks. We've had over 4,300 persons joining us this evening. We got Over 1,700 we've had on Facebook. We've got over 2,600 joining us, folks, even now on YouTube. Thanks to all of you folks who give us that oomph to keep moving forward. That's our time for this evening, and that's our program. Stay safe. We're out of here, folks. That's our time. That's our program. Stay safe.